Thank you for calling the law office of Danny Perez. How may I help you?
Hi, I think you may have been speaking to my mother about representing me in a case.
So this is related to another incident of police misconduct that happened recently in Tampa.
I'm the police chief in Tampa.
Oh, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Okay.
I'm hoping that you'll just let us go tonight.
As documented by other police departments and citizens alike, Tampa PD, through its leadership, has encouraged rampant misconduct and not taken the need for mental health services seriously. No longer Police Chief Mary O'Connor resigned due to her misconduct. Similar to that body cam footage, this is a documentation.
I'm not sure. What is your name, sir?
My name is Charlie.
Probably. Okay, I think it was probably someone else, but I can definitely assist. That's no problem. And what is your last name?
It's spelled
All right. And are you an existing client?
no.
Okay. You said this was in regards to someone else, right? You were calling on behalf of someone else?
No, I believed that my mother had spoken to you on my behalf.
On your behalf? Oh, okay. So, okay. And how did you hear about us?
Just Google.
Google. Okay. And what is this regarding?
It's a criminal matter. I'm looking for someone to represent me in a charge for calling in a false bomb threat.
Okay. Just document the information. It's a charge for calling a false bomb threat, right?
Yes.
All right. And so, what are the charges? Is that the only charge?
That is the only charge.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and see if Attorney Perez is available. Is it okay if I place you on a brief hold?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you. Give me one moment. Hi, this is Daniel.
Hi, Daniel. My name is Charlie.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, so I don't have any information. I don't know what you know, so. Hello? Hello?
You don't have. Yes, sir. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay. I'm sorry about that.
No problems.
I missed your question. You said you didn't have some information or what was it?
No, I was just waiting. I was waiting for you to begin speaking because I don't know what you know, so I'm not able to begin the conversation.
Okay. Well, you called the law office of Daniel Perez. I had spoken to your mother in regards to your pending charge that you have here in Hillsborough County.
Okay.
She had indicated she wanted me to call you today at 4 o'clock my time.
Okay.
So that's what I was planning on doing. But that's okay. We can talk now. I have time now.
Okay. Well, actually, let's do this because realistically, my only issue was that I hadn't spoken to you. You have already seemed to have an estimate on billing. I went ahead and told my mother to provide you a link of a phone call that happened between me and Tampa PD that should make it very clear to you as to why the charges should be dismissed. And so really my concerns for the phone call were trying to understand how and why you came up with your billing estimate, as well as having some idea from you as to even just preliminary why it seems to me that you're approaching this in a manner that indicates that you feel as if it would require a lot of work, and everything indicates that this should have been dismissed as it is, and definitely should be dismissed on the 4th. Only thing that's really missing is being able to prevent that evidence. So.
Okay. So which question do you want me to address first?
Whichever one that you feel you can, or if you would like, we can wait and do it at a later time. Okay.
or listened to the audio, actually. Not
Yeah.
video, I listened to the audio, the complete audio.
Yeah.
So in regards to the audio that I listened to,
Yep.
that has no relation to the charge that you're charged with.
And why do you believe that?
I got a different, because in the audio that I received from your mom has nothing in regards to the charge of that you're charged with right now, the false bomb reporting.
No, I understand, but I said, why do you believe that? In other words, I know they're related, but you seem to know why they're not.
Because they're not. Because the evidence of the elements of the charge that you're charged with the criminal charge, have nothing to do with that conversation. The only thing that conversation shows is your contact with the Tampa Police Department over the phone.
No, of course, but so you don't feel that that officer's actions in any way were inappropriate?
No, I didn't say that. That's not what I said.
Well, that's what you're indicating.
I'm telling you that the elements of the charge of the false bomb reporting has nothing to do with that call.
Yes, and I am okay, Daniel, let's speak clearly. And I am telling you that they are relevant. And so, again, this is,
That's fine, but that's okay. I understand. So I'm telling you that the elements of the crime and that phone call are not related.
No, and again, I'm telling you they are, and you're not explaining anything different. So let me go further. The reason why they are is because the crime that I am charged with is an interpretation of my words, and also would be an interpretation that, by the indication that it's false, that there was no reason to contact the Tampa's mayor's office, or no reason for concern. In other words, there was no crisis going on. That audio shows a police officer lying to me and not addressing a crisis in which that officer was called on to address. And so they are relevant because it is just one piece of evidence of many that the phone call that I made to the mayor's office was not and should have never been interpreted as a bomb threat, but as a means to bring attention to an ongoing crisis that was still being ignored. Do you understand that?
I understand crystal clear, but your question to me was, that audio that you sent me, I have one audio, okay? One audio, that audio that you sent me, just that one in itself, has nothing to do with the charge or the elements in your face.
Okay, Daniel, again, I'm not here to argue with you as my attorney. I'm not here to argue with you. Now, I understand that one alone, just to make sure I'm getting your words clearly, that one alone can be seen as not relevant. And actually, that's reaching because it is relevant. What it can be seen, as far as I am concerned, and my understanding of the law is that it can be seen that that alone would not be enough. However, I could tell you for me right now.
Let me try to explain something to you, okay? Charlie, listen to me. Number one, do you understand the charge that you're charged with?
Yeah, Daniel, I'm not here for you to treat me this way. In other words, I understand the charge. Again, I also understand the relevant evidence that should be able to defend me from that charge. That is the purpose of having a lawyer, and for you to be able to defend me. Now, again, I understand what you said in the sense of that one alone isn't. However, again, right now, what I'm dealing with, that right now, legally, there are two different things that are going on. You said yourself that you don't believe that the officer's actions were correct, or at the very least, you are not stating that you believed any misconduct happened. That alone creates a conflict, because if you're defending me, then you would also have to understand how that charge and that interaction that I had with Tampa PD would have led to my actions that were misinterpreted. Do you understand that?
In the state of Florida,
Daniel, you're breaking up. Sorry, you're breaking up.
I said in the state of Florida, a person is presumed innocent of the charges against them. You realize that, correct?
Yes, Daniel.
So I have no idea what evidence the state attorney's office has to be able to charge you with the crime that they charge you with.
Yes, I do. But I do. But I do.
No, you don't, because you don't have the state attorney's office evidence.
Well, I have what they had and then presented in San Francisco, which was about 80 pages or so. Obviously,
I don't know what happened in San Francisco.
but I am telling you, Daniel, again. So this is the problem. This is the problem that I'm having, Daniel. You're arguing with me as if you're not supposed to defend me.
Charlie.
Yes.
Charlie, we just got on a phone call. We've never met.
Yeah, but your approach currently, even right now, into what evidence do they have against me is an argumentative one. I am telling you, I know. I understand that you may not know that currently. That is the purpose of this phone call, which is to inform you of what you don't know.
Charlie,
Yes.
you're not listening. We're off on a bad foot here, okay?
You're not listening if you don't understand that I know that.
Okay. Okay. What other questions do you have?
Well, I currently I don't really have any other questions. Again, more than anything is why are you justifying your billing? Since it seems to be that there's many things that you don't know yet. So you had told my mother, I believe it was 9,500.
That's my fee for a second-degree felony. That's right.
Okay.
Does not include the trial fee.
Okay, and as far as you know, that's pretty standard across the board, regardless of what you know of the case.
I have no idea what other attorneys charge. I
Uh-huh.
don't care what other attorneys charge. That's what I charge.
Okay, and so at this point in time, you feel comfortable that that's the price, regardless of the fact that currently, when I've spoken to you, there's a lot of things you don't know. That's just your flat fee, which is understandable and respectful. I'm not trying to question it that way. I just want to make sure that I'm clear on this, so that I can kind of understand the pricing and how other lawyers in Florida also work, or what is to be expected. In a case like this, a flat fee. No, I understand, but I'm saying for you personally, in a case like this, you basically charge a flat.
My fee for a second-degree felony for your charge is $9,500
Uh-huh.
and a $4,500 trial fee. That's it. Period.
Exactly. And so no matter what, you assume it's going to go to trial regardless of, and you actually plan on it going to trial regardless of whether or not you can get the case dismissed previously. Is that correct?
That's not correct, because if I assumed it was going to trial, I wouldn't have separated my trial fee. I would have put it all together.
Okay. So the 9,500 in my
The reason I separated it, excuse me. The reason I separated it is because I don't feel it's necessary to charge you a trial fee without knowing that it's going to go to trial.
Yeah, I understand that.
Save you that money.
Yeah, I understand that. So right now it would be 9,500 basically just to show up for my indictment and enter in a plea. And then going forward, it would be 4,500. Is that correct? Hello, Daniel? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, so I said currently the 9,500 would cover the appearance on October 4th, which is basically my indictment, which would be to enter in a plea. But then going forward, it would be 4,500 additionally. Is that correct? If it was to go forward.
No, sir, that's not correct.
Okay, so what?
My fee for $9,500
Uh-huh.
is to represent you for the case, with the exception of a trial fee.
Okay, I see. So it would be in your best. Okay. Okay. Well, so far I have enough information. You don't seem appropriate, if for no other reason that it doesn't seem as if you're ready or willing or want to prepare yourself to properly defend, versus seemingly wanting to kind of just go through the motions. And this case is kind of complicated. I'm in San Francisco as it is. That alone should lead to just for me, what I don't understand, because everybody here in San Francisco seems to click on this, which is I'm in San Francisco. To it was a gross misinterpretation for Florida to believe or take that threat credibly. It's also very difficult to understand, and other than the fact that it seems as if my mother still has mental health issues, which is the whole reason this is going on, which is the whole reason I was arrested or this is going on was because I was trying to contact my mother to figure out, what's going on with her, if she's mentally stable or not. Just the fact alone that she bailed me out and has already said that it was a misinterpretation and it shouldn't go forward, and that you're not focusing on that, it seems very odd. But at the same time, it may seem as if she may have not communicated that with you. That also complicates matters because obviously then I'm being misled by her as to, I guess, her intentions and or her ability to understand what's going on. So you're kind of caught in the middle of this. My mother promised San Francisco that she was going to take care of this. I need representation at the very least for October 4th. But what I am afraid of, and our interaction seems to indicate, is that I don't need somebody who's just going to show up on October 4th and act as if everything's fine and dandy, or this is normal or standard, or there's nothing still going on or nothing that still needs to be addressed. And so that's my main concern. But I'm also somewhat pigeonholed in the sense of my mother promised San Francisco that she was going to get an attorney. That doesn't necessarily need for her to be financially stable in order to do that. There's questions as to whether or not you can address whether or not my mother's competent to make these decisions. All of that kind of, and from my understanding, from what my mother said, as far as her ability to hire a lawyer for me in Florida, that does not necessarily require my signature or participation. It just requires her to be able to pay for that lawyer. So let me stop there because that's a very relevant legal question. Is it true, from my understanding, that if my mother basically pays you to represent me, you pretty much represent me? Is that correct?
Charlie, do you have a pen to write with?
Not currently. Not. Well, hold on a second. I do. Go ahead, Daniel.
I'm going to give you a number to the Hillsborough County Bar.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to give you a number to the Hillsborough County Bar.
No, I could look that up, Daniel. Again, I don't know, again, obviously it seems to you that you feel as if you understand that this is a very odd legal position that you've been put in, because I don't need the bar number. I understand.
I'm not in an odd legal position. Charlie, I'm not in an odd legal
Well, then I don't know. I don't understand why you're giving me the bar number. I am able, again, this is the issue that I am dealing with. I am able to figure out how to contact the bar for a list of referrals. I am also able to do Google searches. I am able to handle many matters that I need to handle from this phone call myself. Again, this is a situation in which you are simply being informed of things. You then make decisions. You have now made a decision that you believe to give me the bar number is appropriate. I know that's not appropriate. So regardless as to whatever reasons you came up with as to why you believe that's the next step that would be appropriate, rather than answering my question directly as to whether or not it is true that by simply my mother wanting to hire you to represent me, that would be enough for you to actually represent me in Florida, seems very indicative that you obviously believe that somebody else should have to review your answer at some point in time.
Charlie, can I speak for a moment?
Sure.
You ready? Okay. I was simply going to give you the number to the bar as a courtesy. Obviously, I know you can look it up. I'm just going to give it to you as a courtesy because I happen to know it. That's one.
Thank you. Thank you, and I'm sorry for the misinterpretation.
I was just doing that as a courtesy, sir. That's it.
Like I said, thank you.
Number two, if your mother wants to retain an attorney to represent her son, she she has the legal authority to do that. She called me. She wanted to retain an attorney to represent her son, and she certainly has the legal authority to do that.
Okay.
She does do that. That doesn't mean that she's the client. You are always the client. She's just the person that happens to retain an attorney to represent you.
Yeah.
You would be the client, and you would be my client, regardless of who represents, who retains me. So she called me as a courtesy to you to represent and find you representation in Florida because you have an arraignment date next week.
Yeah, but that again, you watch your words. Watch your words with me, Daniel, the same way you should in courts. That is not as a courtesy. Again, as it is right now, what it is further evidence of actual abuse and control that she's asserting unnecessarily, unfairly, and unjustly. Because again, it puts me in a position in which you, as a lawyer.
Here's my suggestion to you. Number one, I haven't been retained.
Okay.
Number two, I don't represent you as of this moment.
Okay.
Number three, you have an arraignment next week that if you do not appear or an attorney on your behalf does not appear, will cause the court, Judge Fuson, to issue a warrant.
Yeah, I know that, Daniel. And again, you know, I just stated this clearly. I'll restate it for myself just to make sure that it's very clear, Daniel. I understand all that, and that's why I said to you that in this particular position, when I had believed that my mother had wanted to and or had previously retained you, I was in a position in which, although it seemed as if you had not displayed any particular reasons as to why you should be my lawyer, you were already my lawyer, and so I explained that situation to you. As it is now, it seems as if you were never retained.
Let me clarify for you, Charlie.
Go ahead.
Let me clarify for you. I haven't been retained. Okay? I don't represent you.
Yep.
Third, you have an arraignment next week.
Yeah, again, Daniel, I don't need the secondary parts. Again, that's somewhat offensive towards me because, again, I know, I have a lawyer here in San Francisco. I have already gone over the expedition process. What has already also been established is that the court, this case should have been dismissed, hasn't been dismissed. And now for some reason, when my mother has now tried to obtain a lawyer, the first lawyer that she met with, which is you, told her that the amount would be $9,500. I simply questioned that amount, given all the information I have been provided, both here in San Francisco as well as the law in Tampa, as to why it would be that amount. That amount. That's the only reason we were talking about. That's only we were talking about, Daniel. I understand you haven't been arraigned or retained. Thank you for your time. Have a good day. Have a good day, Daniel. Thank you.